Hey everybody, Kirk with Heat Warehouse. I am here with Brittany, and Brittany, today we have a guest with us. Can you tell us more?
We do. We are very lucky because we have Ash from Dear Nicu Mama.
Hey Ash, how are we doing?
Hello, good. How are you guys?
Good.
I always love getting to hang out with you guys, so thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for coming over today. So, do you want to start out by telling us just a little bit about what Dear Nicu Mama is and like your history, how you got started, and then what you guys do as far as impact for the nonprofit?
Absolutely. So I am a NICU mom myself. So my son Silas was born at 28 weeks, so 3 months early. We had an 87-day NICU stay, and very early on I began to feel the isolation and loneliness of what it can feel like to be a NICU parent. And at the time, I remember searching for resources and organizations that provided support, and I had a really hard time finding them. A lot of the support that I did find was a lot of what I call doom and gloom. So a lot of, these are the ways that you will forever struggle. You will forever have PTSD and anxiety and depression, and good luck. And I was like, wow, that is a lot to look forward to. And not only that, but you know, the reality of having a child in the NICU is that oftentimes they come home with medical complexities or a lot of follow-up appointments, and I just felt really overwhelmed. And I didn't find a lot of hope, and that's what I desperately needed. And so I am an entrepreneur at heart, and I remember driving home from the NICU one day, and I looked over at my husband and I was like, what if I started a nonprofit called Dear Nicu Mama, and NICU moms wrote letters to other NICU moms, blah, blah. And he looked at me and he grabbed my hand and he was like, can we just wait till we get discharged first? And I was like, okay, fine. So when I was kind of in that lonely, isolated place, another NICU mom, who is now the co-founder of Dear Nicu Mama, reached out to me and said, hey, would you ever want to grab coffee? I live in the area. And I think I waited 2 seconds to respond, and I was like, when can you meet? So a couple of days later, we got together, and we say it often in this community, but there's an instant bond and sisterhood between NICU parents and NICU moms. And so we connected on this familiar place of understanding medical terminology, understanding what it meant to have to leave your baby every single night. And so after we got discharged, I reached out to her again and I said, do you want to start a nonprofit? And she was like, let's do it. So that was when Dear Nicu Mama was born. So Dear Nicu Mama was born over 4 years ago now on Mother's Day. And since then, we've seen drastic growth, and it's been incredible, and you guys have been a huge part of that. But essentially, we provide peer support for NICU families around the world.
Fantastic. Obviously, you've been a charity partner with Heat Warehouse, and maybe just talk a little bit about, how that relationship has helped. Dear Nicu Mom, and what's where you're going with it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, it's kind of hard to put into words just how much Heat Transfer has meant to us as an organization. I think as a nonprofit, you are always trying to strategize creative ways to fundraise, and a very common way to do that is to sell shirts. So we were like, let's sell a shirt. And at the time, we thought, okay, what's our core message? It's you are not alone, and I'm actually wearing that design today. It was our very first piece of merchandise we ever had made. And we printed the shirts, and we did what was called like a pre-order at the time. So we had like, if you want this shirt, order by this day. And then we tried to single-handedly ship all of those t-shirts, and the demand kept coming in, and we quickly realized there's no way that we can fulfill this on our own. We are young parents, we have other jobs. And so then we connected with Brittany, and they were like, you need to meet Brittany. And that changed everything for us. It really took us from being able to create 10 t-shirts at a time to creating a t-shirt every day and ship them all around the world. And I think the most beautiful part of our merchandise is that every piece of merchandise has a message. And so typically the shirts say Dear Nicu Mama on the front, and on the back is a message of hope. So we call our merchandise collections Walking Letter of Hope collections. So when a mom wears that, she becomes a walking letter of hope for another NICU mom. And what we thought would just be a shirt has become a badge of armor for our moms. And if I get emotional, I might. But we get messages every single day from moms that have a really difficult appointment, and they said, I put on my Dear Nicu Mama shirt and it's my armor. We've had moms who have lost babies who they wear that shirt because it reminds them of them. We have moms that in the NICU are feeling incredibly alone. They wear this merchandise and they're like, I have a sisterhood that surrounds me. I am not alone. So for us, it went from being able to sell a shirt just to fundraise to sell a shirt to actually mean something. And it's been incredible.
And thank you for sharing some of those messages.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's amazing, and thank you. And obviously, you know, it's hit close to us as far as we've had friends and vendors, and unfortunately have gone through this, and we certainly have sent them Dear NICU Mom, and also there is something for the guys.
Yes.
So that's also good too, and it's just unbelievable, the support, and I can't imagine, like I said, the impact, but also the fact that you're going home, you don't have your kid, and stuff like that. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So, and just think about is, with that, what do you do during the day? What is your normal day?
Oh man, depends on the day. So I also have a day job of being a photographer, but when I am working on Dear NICU Mama, which is also 40 plus hours a week, right? Life of an entrepreneur. But really it looks like constantly coming up with creative ways to provide peer support for NICU families. So kind of our services, if you will, is we have social media advocacy, which is we're really intentional about everything that we post. Everything that we post, we want to have, again, this message of hope. So we're not afraid to talk about the difficulties of postpartum depression, PTSD, the realities of that. And yet, if we just say that, where's the hope? It's like, well, I don't want, that is nothing to look forward to. And so for us, it's, yes, you may struggle, but you're not alone. You will get through this. You can get through this. And so social media has been a powerful way to connect with moms that can't leave their rooms or that don't have another person in their life that has gone through this. And so that's a huge pillar of what we do. We have a private Facebook group of over 6,000 moms. We have a podcast, which last season alone had over 30,000 downloads, and those again range all over the US. We have monthly peer support nights where moms can attend whether they're in the NICU or out of the NICU, and it's just a safe place to meet other moms and connect with other moms. And then we have our merchandise collections, which again at the time was just going to be a simple way to fundraise, but has now become a really crucial part of what we do.
I believe I think that sometime in the last maybe month or so, didn't we do somewhere in the 2,500 range of orders, starting from order number 0?
Yeah.
And
wow.
Most of those orders, not all of them, but a lot of those orders have more than one piece in it. So that's thousands of walking litter of hope items.
Yes.
For the past couple of years.
And the really cool thing about, the merchandise, I mean, I could go on for hours about it, but one of the really beautiful things is that, let's say a NICU mom is wearing her shirt. We get stories all the time of a NICU mom that runs into another NICU mom at like a store. At Target, it happens a lot at Target.
Imagine.
But a mom is in like the baby aisle grabbing diapers and she's wearing her You Are Not Alone sweatshirt, but she'll see the Dear NICU Mama on the front. And she'll come up to her and say, are you a NICU mom? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, I've never met another NICU mom. We've had other moms say, like, this is the first time I felt seen as a NICU parent. And it's from a simple message on the back of a shirt. And so we've had also moms that were in the NICU 50 years ago that come up to a mom in her shirt and say, I wish I had that kind of support that I have now, that you have now. And so it's really, really cool to see the impact that these shirts can have with just this simple, powerful message of hope.
So tell me, Ash, what's next for Dear NICU Mom? I know you've been talking about, obviously you're doing 40 hours with photography, 40 hours with this. Somewhere there's got to be a line.
Yeah.
And just you're talking about kind of the growth and to help propel the organization, because we see nonprofits. It's amazing, 4 years, going to kind of like that next step. And what do you got planned? So.
Oh man, so many fun things. I think really being able to expand our current programs and services, really taking those to the next level. We get messages often, every day almost, of, can you talk about this? Can you talk about this? Can you do a podcast episode about this? Can you post about this? So there's constantly this desire and need for moms to feel seen and validated. So being able to put that time and effort into producing more of that content. I think one of our big goals is to really really improve our hospital relationships. So we currently, for like our Mother's Day and holiday outreaches, we partner with over 120 NICUs across the nation, but we want to keep building those relationships and really touching the moms currently in the NICUs. And really, you know, we have our hospital support kits, which I forgot to mention, but are basically an affirmational connection card that moms in the NICU can receive at no cost. So we donate those to hospitals, and we connect with a lot of moms in that place. Especially when you're in the NICU, you don't have a lot of brain space to digest going to like a support group or even leaving your room. So getting that card that says, here's a way to get connected, has been a really powerful way for us to connect with moms that are just entering the NICU for the first time. And so being able to take that to the next place is a really big dream of ours as well.
So you're in 100 and some hospitals. How was those relationships started, or how do you, obviously there's not just a few hospitals in Fargo.
Yeah.
So how have you built those relationships or gotten in there and be able to be there so that when it does happen, that you're there? So. Honestly,
a lot of hospitals reaching out to us, seeing our content and saying, how can we connect you to our moms? So we get messages from hospitals and a lot of nurses too, wear our collections. So even if they're not a NICU parent themselves, they wear it so that another NICU mom can see it. And so we get messages from NICU moms, NICU nurses, NICU coordinators saying, how can I get you into our hospitals? You guys are the only trauma-informed content that I've seen and that is done in such a creative and beautiful way. How can we have you a part of it? So a lot of it is them reaching out to us, and then of course our moms that are a part of our organization reaching out to their coordinators and saying, do you want to be a part of what Dear NICU Mama is doing?
So thinking about that, like how can we, as people are viewing this, seeing this, everything else, how can they help?
Yeah.
From whatever standpoint, I guess. You know, thinking about Dear NICU Mama, everybody thinks, well, if that hasn't happened to me, how can I help? How can I help improve Dear NICU Moms and help them grow? You know, we'll love to see you back here maybe next year, and there's like another 100 hospitals or whatever. Okay, you know? So.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, truly spreading the word. I think, you know, one of the things that we find often is that you may not be a NICU parent yourself, but you may know someone, they may know someone. I think I didn't know about the NICU prior to becoming a NICU parent, and now that I am one, I'm realizing there was this kind of like existing web that I didn't know existed at the time of like people that was, someone's grandma was a NICU mom, someone's cousin is a NICU mom. And so even if you are not one, I guarantee you that in your network, there's 1 to 2 NICU moms or NICU families. And so spreading the word, you know, and if you do know a NICU parent, connecting them to our resources. We are a very gentle resource. So we never want moms to feel bombarded with like, join our community. But it's very much when you are ready, we are here for you. And so if you know a NICU parent, connecting them to our resources, connecting them to our social media is a great way, a great first step for moms that are just wanting to kind of get their toes wet but aren't ready to like introduce themselves at a meeting and that kind of thing. And then being a nonprofit, if you feel compelled to give or buy a shirt, when you wear your shirts, I guarantee you that people will come up and ask a question. And it's a really great way to spread the mission of not only Dear NICU Mama, but NICU parenthood. And really to shed a light on how remarkable NICU families and their kids are.
Awesome. Brittany, you got anything?
Yes, just what Ash was speaking to. So I haven't been a NICU parent, which is, I guess, kind of a good thing, right? But at the same time, this last year, I experienced 2 people close to me that became NICU parents all of a sudden. And of course, I placed an order and sent them, you know, the Dear NICU Mama care package or some things off the website that I thought that they would like as individuals. And then they joined your Facebook community, and I saw my cousin every day on her Facebook story. She had her Dear NICU Mama, You Are Not Alone mug. And so she's drinking her coffee, and I just know that the community was really like very special to her, because not only was she in the NICU, she was actually also in the hospital for a long time because she had gotten into a car accident, which everybody is good now, but that was a long road for them.
Absolutely.
So it's just really nice to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
So actually, like, as far as I know, you've mentioned like hopefully you're looking to be full-time into it.
Yes.
Possibly commit, you know, come back and either have a full-time person working with it or yourself. What is that like for you? What is that going to be? Hopefully, like these are like the next steps, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that in the nonprofit world, years 4 and 5 are kind of where you start making those big decisions and really kind of casting a vision for what you hope it looks like. But yeah, hopefully it would be me going full-time, really full-time, being able to fully dive in and give it my all. So we're doing some end-of-year campaigns and really trying to make connections with people who are also passionate about this work or who believe in the mission of what we're doing. But again, really going full-time would allow us to really expand what we're doing and really pour all of those precious hours into it and into the moms. I think the thing that's unique about the NICU too is that it's a constant revolving door. So it's such a, every day there's new moms being admitted into the hospitals and looking for that support. And so we want to be one of those first touch points for moms that find themselves in that place and say, we are here for you. You are not alone. This is how we can get you connected. So.
Exciting.
Yeah, really exciting.
Stuff.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we're wishing you definitely the best on it, and
Thank you.
think about is the future of that. So if they want to find you, Nicu Mama,
Yes.
how are we going to find you? Where are we going to check you out?
Yes.
So
our social media handles are just at Dear NICU Mama, and NICU is spelled N-I-C-U. Our website is www.dearnicumama.com, and those are kind of the best places to find us. And then if you go to dearnicumama.com/shop, you can see all of the beautiful collections that He Transfer
And you guys just did redid your website.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We just redid our website, and one really cool thing about that too is we have a really new comprehensive resource library for NICU moms looking for specific aspects of support. So if a mom is looking for feeding support, or they're looking for all of the different realms of the NICU, even post-NICU life, it's all broken up into categories, and we're really, really excited to have that on there too. So,
What a good resource.
amazing resources, amazing place to if you end up having to go through that. I think it's amazing. When I have gotten my friends in touch with it, they definitely have thanked me and told me like that was a game changer. And you just don't realize statistically how common it is, unfortunately, and so I think it's definitely something that's needed out there. And it's amazing what you've been doing. So any words of wisdom, thoughts you would like to give anybody that's listening to us today, or what's
first wisdom, work with He Transfer Warehouse.
and we didn't pay for that.
No,
so
we didn't.
that's-
I'm being truthful. No, I think from an entrepreneur perspective, when you have an idea, just wrestle with it. I think right away we were kind of like hemming and hawing of like, how do we do this? I don't know. We went through a lot of trial and error, but I think when you find what works for you and you find a team that believes in your work and that cares about it as much as you do and you trust them, it changes everything. And so finding people in your corner like He Transfer Warehouse and Shirts from Fargo that are really committed to helping you amplify your brand is incredible. And if there are any NICU families listening or watching this, I want to remind you that you are not alone. There is a community that exists here to support you. You and your baby have endured incredible mountains and have endured a lot. And this was not your fault. The reality of the NICU is that 99.9% of the time it's completely unexpected and out of our control. But it was not your fault. You are remarkable. You are doing the very best you can. And there is a community of people here to support you.
I can't top that. That's, okay. So we're just gonna do Ash, tell us where you're from originally. Where are you from? Fargo? Where at?
I'm pretty much from Fargo. I grew up in small towns in North Dakota, but I've been here for over 15 years. So
what's the smallest town in North Dakota you're growing up in too?
Jamestown.
Jamestown?
Yeah,
okay, not too small.
Not too small,
That's
but a
not
lot
really
smaller than Fargo. Yeah.
So I guess besides Fargo, everything else is small town.
Right.
So then you moved to Fargo.
Yep, moved to Fargo, went to school for communications, realized I didn't know what I wanted to do, so took some time off, and then found kind of the entrepreneurial life. And so I've been running a photography business now for over 10 years. I've done graphic design, so kind of all of those creative realms I've gotten to do.
And you do a lot of the design work for the pieces, correct?
Yes.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe before, or you could do like a clip and then show the back of your
Yeah.
shirt. So each of the shirts. That's what I love so much, or how special. There's so much thought.
Yeah.
It's like a note, like with the comma, the
Yes.
Nicu Mama,
Yep.
and then the message of the body is on the back.
Yes. Yep.
So it's very creative.
Yeah.
Very well
Yeah,
put
it's
out.
been really fun to put the collections together and then work together with your team of like, I remember during COVID, that was crazy. It was like, what can we actually get? Like the supply
my
chain
gosh. Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, but you
And you're
guys
like,
were
"Yay!"
troopers.
I'm like, this looks so beautiful. You'll love this. And I'm like, oh no, there's no size medium or large, but we can get the other sizes.
Right. Yeah, I remember that was fun for all of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been super fun to kind of come up with the different concepts and really think of, we recently launched a Right on Time collection, which was arguably one of our best sellers. And I think it was because it was so meaningful to moms both in and out of the NICU. We have other affirmations like you are braver than you feel, you're not alone, you are enough, you can do this. We're working on a really fun new collection that I'm excited to talk with you about that we hope to launch this September. So it's been really fun to get to create those.
Amazing collections, and obviously, like you said, I like how you said, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I wasn't sure what to do in school. And that's like a classic. I will tell everybody, like,
For entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
like, don't rush, just
Yeah.
take your time, and things just happen, and usually they happen
I'd
for a
say you've
reason.
done quite well.
Yeah.
All the people
Quite
you've
well.
reached and
So, yeah, I mean, you got your own business,
Open.
plus you started a nonprofit, and hats off to you on that. So,
Thank you.
So if we're gonna tell them, what's your go-to food?
Go-to food. I mean, if I'm with my toddler, Chick-fil-A probably, or something with chicken strips. But if I'm with my husband, a date night, well, we love Brewbird in Fargo, which is, I guess, more chicken strips, but it's certified gluten-free. So if you are
There
a
we go.
celiac, make sure to check that out. Otherwise, Vinyl Tacos,
So
always a
good.
good one.
So good.
Yep. And then we frequent the coffee shops quite a bit. We are big coffee people. So I tend to work at a coffee shop during the day. Otherwise, I'm too much of an extrovert to work from home. So I got to get out and see other people.
And that's an entrepreneurial thing to trust me. Like, and they're like, oh, work from home. I'm like, I can't work from home.
I literally
I have to go somewhere else. So just
Yep.
have people around you and stuff like
Yep,
that. That's
exactly.
totally true on that. So I just want to, again, thank you for coming in. I
Thank you.
have really appreciated that you've been a charity partner with Heat Transfer Warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing to see your growth and where the organization has came in the last few years is amazing. And like I said, we look forward to our continued partnership
Yeah, likewise.
with the Nicu Mama and seeing where it goes next. And obviously, hopefully we can get some updates of what's going to happen in the future, down the road here, because I'm excited to see what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for being a part of it and making it possible for moms to feel seen and heard. So we're grateful.